Thanks for reminding me. Okay, so next step is paragraph styles and character styles. So we're going to first off bring in all of our copies. So I opened up my recipe, one of the recipes. I'm going to say select all, Command A, and then I'm going to copy it, Command C or Control C if we're on a PC. I'm going to click back to my InDesign file, and I'm going to grab the type tool and just make a type frame, and Command V or Control V and insert it into the file. Now, another way to bring copy into InDesign is by starting with a text block. And I'm going to go over here. I'm not going to do it because it is, I don't know why it is crashing my machine, but the other way to do it is go to File, Place, and bringing in the copy from Word that way. And when I go to do it, I keep getting some issues, so I'm not going to worry about it. There's multiple ways to always get around in any Adobe product. So we have our copy in InDesign, and so we're going to now, we have all of our hierarchy. We've been working with our type studies, and we are going to be setting up these character styles and paragraph styles. I guess I'm worried that I didn't start the recording. Oh yeah, I did. Okay. So let's start with selecting the headline. So the first thing I'm going to do is select my headline and set my copy. So my headline, I'm going to set both lines of my headline. I know my headline is going to be Meta Pro Black. I'm going to start with my first line of my headline is going to be bigger than my second line. So I'm going to go ahead and set it exactly based on my type study, and it'll be different for all of you. Go ahead and set it up according to your type study. So I'm going to show that my type study is 24 point. My leading is 24 point. I'm doubling it because my 12 is my baseline grid. And I'm going to use a multiple of 12. And my secondary subhead is going to be at 12 point on a 24 point leading. I'm going to add a return after it. So I have two different hierarchies. Every level of hierarchy, we're going to create a different style for. So I'm going to start with, I've been using my character window to set up my type. I'm going to select that type I just set up, and it's 24 point on 24 point leading. I'm now going to go to paragraph style. And I'm going to go up to the upper corner and say new paragraph style. An important thing to be aware of, I don't want you to use this plus sign at the bottom of the window, which also allows you to start a paragraph style. The reason, we're going to be creating Creative Cloud libraries. And if you click this button down here to start a new paragraph style, it won't allow you to bring it into the Creative Cloud library. You need to go up to the menu and say create a new paragraph style. I don't know why that is, but it is I think honestly a glitch in the program, because you'll see when you do it, the paragraph style menu this way, in the lower left-hand corner here, it'll say add to Creative Cloud library in the bottom corner. And I'm just going to show you the difference. If I use this little button down here and I say paragraph style, and I double click and open that window, there is no Creative Cloud link. So I don't want to do it that way. I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to go new paragraph style. And I'm going to name it cookbook headline. Or you can call it recipe. Anything descriptive. Hold on a minute. Let's see what I'm doing. Anything descriptive. Don't just leave it named paragraph setting 1, 2, 3, 4, because it honestly will get very confusing. We're going to have about 4 to 5 different levels of hierarchy. And so it'll be really helpful to be descriptive in your style naming. So make sure you give it a good name. Second thing you can do while you're in here is go into indents and spacing. And when you select indents and spacing, you can go to align to grid and say all lines. This is going to lock it onto the baseline grid. So that means no matter where you move this type, it's always going to lock onto your baseline grid. If you want to add color to your paragraph style, you can click on color down here. Now there's only the colors we've set up so far. I mean, the default colors are in here. We can go in and set up more colors later and then come back in and add them. At the moment, you're only going to have the default, but this can be changed in our color palette, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But just for display pertinent purposes, I'm going to show you. I'm just picking one of the default colors. We can change it later. And then down here at the bottom, it's going to say add to CC library. We want to make sure that box is selected. And then you want to go ahead and say create new library, because you don't have a library created for this yet. So go ahead and say create new library and then say okay. So what's going to happen now is it didn't change color, and I just changed the color. But what I have to do is, once I've created that paragraph style, I need to select it here under paragraph styles. So I'm going to say recipe headline. And now you can see there's my recipe headline in the hot pink. I've selected it. So now it's part of my paragraph styles. Over here, you'll see the Creative Cloud library window opened up, because it just told that I want to make a new library. So I'm going to go ahead and say create new library, and I'm going to call it COD cookbook and say create. And then I'm going to go down to the little plus at the bottom of it, and it's going to show, you're going to click on paragraph style, and boop, there goes my paragraph style right there. And if this is a color I wanted to have in here for my color palette, I can also choose text fill color. So if I want to use that fill color on other items in my page, I'll have that fill color there. So I don't have to go searching for it. I know which fill color it is. Okay, questions?
I have kind of a super quick random question.
Sure.
When the semester is over, are all of our Adobe Cloud documents and everything, does that get erased because it's like we get access through the school?
You know what? That is a good. Well,
It doesn't.
I was going to say, I don't think it does, because you're also saving all of your work on OneDrive, right?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're saving all your work on OneDrive, so you should be okay. Did we all get a chance to try that? I'm going to do it again with the subhead. You want me to do it one more time? Walk through it one more time with the next one. So let's do one more together. So the next one I'm going to use is the subhead. Here's the subhead. I've selected it. I've set my type. at the size and weight I want it. I'm selecting it. I'm going to go over to paragraph styles and to the menu and say new paragraph style. And I'm going to call this subhead. Same thing. I'm going to go ahead and go into indents and spacing, say align to grid, all lines. I'm then going to go down to my color. If I'm choosing a color, and I'm going to, for this one, I'm going to choose turquoise. I'm making sure that it's automatically, look at Adobe knows that I'm working within the COD cookbook. So look at it's already automatically adding it to the COD cookbook I just started. And I'm going to say, okay. And you can see over here on the right, it's popped into my library. And then I'm going to go into, I have it selected. I'm going to go into my paragraph styles and now select subhead. And now you can see that it's the subhead. So now I have paragraph headline, style headline, and a paragraph styled subhead. And then I'll keep going and through and doing a paragraph style for each level of my hierarchy. So I'm going to do it for my headline, my subhead, my body copy, and then into my lists and ingredient lists and things like that nature. So why don't we all try one right now? And then we're going to go into more of the type tools next class. And the idea for us on Thursday is going to be to finish setting up all of our paragraph styles. We're going to talk about some character styles and how those integrate, as well as starting to talk about flowing type. We're going to talk about color, color palettes using Adobe Color, and then bringing those all into the library and bringing our images all into the library. And why we're creating a library for all of our assets, and these are all referred to as assets, is because after this project of doing our cookbook, we're going to be doing a web page. And so we want to be able to have all of these decisions we've made be accessible all in one place that we can now pull into a new document, because these libraries will transfer with us to a new document. So it's taking a few more minutes to set these things up now, but this will work for multiple pages. We're doing 2 spreads. So once we set up all these files, when we go to set up our second spread, it'll really just be a click of the button to have all of these choices implemented on our second spread. And so imagine how much time this will save when you're doing a whole cookbook. Okay, any questions?